What's going on, guys? So today we're doing another tutorial on how to do a longer haircut. This right here we're going to do is a modern mullet. So we start off by sectioning the hair out and saturating the hair so everything comes out evenly. And he wanted a more modern mullet, but he didn't want to take the sides down to skin, so we just left it kind of longer. So most of the stuff in the video is going to be about the scissor work and the shear work to do on the haircut. And what we're doing right here is we're sectioning out the top from the sides just so that we have less area to worry about, and it can kind of take your mind off the top and you can only worry about the sides at the time. And for this haircut, he didn't want to take too much length off the bottom. He just wanted to take a bunch of weight off because it's been a while since he's got his haircut and he's been trying to grow it out to this mullet. And he also wanted it forward facing. And he wanted to keep all of his curls on the haircut too. So after we sectioned out the top from the bottom, we went ahead and sectioned out the sides so that we can just focus on the back and setting the foundation for the back first, just to give it a simpler area to figure out. And now we have the sides all clipped up and out of the way and the top all clipped up and out of the way. So now the only thing we have to focus on is just the back. And right here I'm just setting the foundation for the sides, and the foundation at the front of the haircut is going to be all the way down to finger length so that we can connect the 3 guard into it. And on a modern mullet, you normally on the back you want to create the length in a square shape just so that it keeps a little bit more volume and things at the top. And we're finishing the foundations all around the sides so that we have a good base layer for the top and a good guide for the sides. And this used to be one of my hardest haircuts to do, a mullet. Just so hard to blend the shortness on the sides to the length all around. But now it's one of my favorite haircuts to do. And what I like to do when I'm starting the back, I like to start in the middle and clip the sections off that I'm not working on so the hair doesn't get in the way. And since we're keeping all the length on the back, on the bottom, we kept the base as the hair that has grown out already. So we're just, you see right here, we're just taking out mostly the hair in the middle just to make it flow a lot better and easier to style. And honestly, once you set the base and the foundation on the scissor work, it's really like connecting the dots. You just see the short piece at the bottom, the short piece at the top, and the long pieces in the middle, and you just cut the long pieces off. And that's what we're going to do all around the head. The angle changes a little bit on the sides to more of a diagonal shape, just so that we can get down to the shorter length on the mullet, but pretty simple. And I would say the 2 most important things when doing a scissor haircut is 1, keep the hair saturated, because if one part is not as wet as the other part, then it's going to be different lengths when they both dry out. And then also is just keeping the same tension and pulling directly from the head if that's the shape you want to create when doing the haircut. And now that we're done with the first half of the back, we move on to the sides, and on the sides we're going to take a more of a diagonal shape so that our fingers are closer to the head at the bottom, so that the clippers blend right in seamlessly. And now that I finished that side, we're going to go back and do the other side of the back and then start the other side of the side. And it's a pretty simple haircut once you learn a system to follow every time. Scissor work haircuts like this used to take me at least an hour to do, but if you follow the same system every time, they get easier and easier, and this one took me about 30 minutes to finish. And the clips for the haircut help a lot because it just makes sure that you're focusing on the one section that you need to be focusing on, and the other hair is not getting in the way and covering up pieces, or you're not pulling from the wrong area during the haircut, and making sure in the same shape all around the head. Now, as you can see here, like I was saying earlier, it gets a lot shorter at the bottom of the haircut on the sides, just because we're going to use a clipper right there to create the more modern mullet. So we have our fingers facing down so that we can make sure it's shorter there. And what you just saw me do right there is check both sides just to make sure that they're even, just so that we were sure that we were consistent on all the haircut that we did. And then right after we checked and made sure both sides were equal, we just went ahead and went straight to the top and split the top right down the middle so that we can start to connect the top to our foundation. And one thing about connecting the top to the foundation, it ensures that there's no going to be hair falling over to the sides or looking like an undercut or anything like that. And then with the bangs, he wanted the bangs right above his forehead. So since he has curlier hair, I pulled it down longer than his eyebrows so that it would curl up and be right above his eyebrows at the end where he wanted it. And one thing with curly hair, you can definitely not take off a lot of hair, because once it dries out and it all curls back up, it's going to look a lot shorter than you actually cut it. And after we connected the top to the foundation on the sides, the only section that we didn't do is the middle section on the top of the head, and now we're just connecting it and making sure that that's equal with both sides, so that the haircut is all evened out. And with these haircuts, a lot of people tend to think of them as taking a lot of length off, but what you really want to do is take a lot of the weight out so that it's easier for the client to style the hair when they get home. It's easier for them to manage overall, and it's not a hassle to have longer hair. And after that, we go ahead to styling after we finish the top. And first off, I sprayed some sea salt spray in there so it'd have some more volume and bring the curls out, and then I put the 245 clay in there to bring out all the curls too. And the best thing you can do is when you're putting the products in your hair, just make sure it gets all the way in the hair and just scrunch the hair up so that the curls can pop out more. And then after we went ahead and put all the product and made sure it was all the way in his hair, we got the diffuser out and started drying it off a little bit. The diffuser is a nice attachment so it's not blow drying the hair straight down and making it look flat. And especially with the modern mullet, because they want that flow in the back of their hair and the curls to pop out in the back. That's why they don't want to cut the back off too. And after we finished a majority of this blow drying, we went ahead and used our wide tooth comb to make it look a little more nice. And after that, we went ahead and started going to the sides with a 3-guard. And on this haircut, the 3-guard is the highest guard I used. He didn't want to go to the skin on the sides like I was saying earlier, so we just kind of blended it into his beard. And his beard was about a 1-guard, so not too short, not too long. So we just blended a 1 to a 3. Right here we have a 3, and then we went ahead and kind of lined it up to see what was kind of underneath everything to make it clean and easier to fade. And after the 3, I like to go to an open 1.5, just because an open 1.5 blends nicely into a 3, and then go fade downwards from there, and then grab the 1-guard and put the 1-guard until it's closed and fade it all the way into the beard. And one thing about this haircut, the fade definitely matters, but when you're doing the lineup, that's what really makes it pop. That's what really makes it give that clean, sharp look like you just had a haircut. And then after I do the fade and line it up, I'm just kind of double checking myself and making sure that everything fades into the sides nicely with the hair and nothing overlays. And then I noticed at the end of the haircut, I saw that the hair was a little wet still. So I decided to take my blow dryer out since I had a couple extra minutes and make sure everything was nice and dry. And at the end, he loved the result. And notice how much his hair shrunk up whenever it's dried and the curls popped out again. What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to say thank you guys for watching the video and just kind of tell the main purpose of me making these videos. The main purpose is just to teach everyone. I feel like scissor haircuts is a hard thing, especially in the beginning, and it took me a while to figure out how to do them, and I just want to make that path shorter for you guys so that we can grow together and learn together in this.